What's up, folks? If y'all are watching this, y'all have made it past the Empire's blockade and my quarantine. Who I am is not important. What I am is the jackass from Numbers 22. Go read that. You'll enjoy the story and you'll start understanding more of what I'm talking about. So you know me, I like to tell Bible verses and give y'all a reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. I want y'all to consider first out of 1 John 3:13, do not marvel, my brethren, if the world hates you. There's going to come a time really soon when your family and your friends are going to get mad at you and turn on you for not accepting their new normal. Give you another verse to consider. 1 John, beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see if they're from God, because there are many false prophets that went out into the world. Pay attention. If you can't see that our leaders and spiritual leaders are lying to us and they're repeating the lies, tell a lie enough, repeat it enough, it eventually comes to truth. That's the saying that got me banned on Facebook. Now, what I want y'all to remember is the people who are in charge, the spiritual leaders, the politicians, Jesus had a problem with them too, and I want you to hear what he said about them. Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Leaven is like yeast. You put it in bread and it goes all the way through. You let a little bit of hypocrisy in, it gets through everything. Beware of that, because Jesus told you after that, for there is nothing concealed that will not be revealed, and nothing hidden that will not be known. Therefore, whatever you have said in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed on the rooftops. If you've been paying attention to this at all, what's going on, you would know we are at war. Read a strategy book, The Art of War, 33 Strategies of War. Any strategy book worth its ink will tell you this is the first steps before you go to war. I'm not trying to hype the video up. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to get you to think and read and use a little bit of critical thinking yourself. Just like everything is so corrupt right now, just like in the days of Noah, the days of Nimrod, the days of Lot, and the days of Jesus, okay? Do not be surprised that because that kind of spirit never left, guys. Don't be surprised. You had Napoleon rise to power. You had Hitler rise to power. Do not fool yourself. There is another one in the wings waiting to rise to power. Guys, I really hope you heed the warning of the angel in Revelations 18. It goes on to say, Babylon the Great has fallen, has fallen. Confusion is going to fall twice, and that confusion is the false church. Hear what the other angel says, come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins and her plagues. Start reading for yourself and stop believing what everybody tells you. And this false religion, her sins have reached into heaven and God has remembered those sins. Look, guys, all the beef from false Christianities to false religions, all the murders, wars, rapes, thefts, all that's made it up to God. And if you're watching this, be happy, rejoice, all that good stuff, because you were built, you were designed, and you were placed right here in this moment, because you're going to be one of the witnesses to God's judgment. Mark my words and sit back and watch. This is going to be really interesting very, very soon. You're still having issues believing me that Jesus had issues with the Pharisees and scribes and those kind of people? Consider this exchange by Jesus and his disciples while they were at the temple. He had called a great multitude to him and he said, hear and understand. It's not what goes into your mouth that defiles a man, but it's what comes out of the mouth that defiles a man. Sounds similar at all. Experts, doctors, CDC, WHO, etc., any of that. Just all I'm telling you is pay attention. You decide what you want to do, but just pay attention. His disciples came to him and said, do you know that the Pharisees, the doctors, the people with titles, were offended when they heard this saying? Could you imagine that? People in charge being offended over somebody calling them out on their BS. Censorship is nothing new. It's been used forever. Jesus ended up getting killed. He called them out so much. Now, what I want y'all to do is listen to Jesus' response to that. Every plant which my Father has not planted will be uprooted. Let them alone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the root of the passive-aggressive Southern phrase, bless your heart. Jesus just blessed their heart. Don't believe me? Read on. They are blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind leads the blind, they both fall into a ditch. That was a Kelso level burn. And then you know what's the most disappointing part about it? He had to explain it to Peter. Peter came and said, can you explain this to me? You still have a distorted view of Jesus? Consider his response. Are you still so without understanding? Do you not yet understand whatever enters the mouth goes into the stomach and is eliminated? That's a very nice word for something else. But those things which proceed out of the mouth come from the heart, and they defile a man. For out of the heart proceeds evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witnesses, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man. But to eat with unwashed hands doesn't defile a man. Remember, they killed Jesus for saying this. So why am I making these videos, guys? About 6 years ago, I had an issue where I should be dead. I shouldn't be here. I should be... Over the past 6 years, I've been putting this stuff into practice. Haven't been perfect at it. I've tried. I've failed a lot. But I've accomplished all the goals that I'd set out before myself. So with that being said, it landed me at this spot in my journey, and it landed me on 2 Timothy verse 4, 1 through 9. I charge you therefore before God and the Lord Jesus Christ, who will judge the living and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Preach the word. Be ready in season. Be ready out of season. Convince, rebuke, exhort with all long-suffering and teaching. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine. They just ain't going to want to hear it. But according to their own desires, they're going to follow after exactly what they want, because they will have itching ears. They will heap up for themselves teachers, and they will turn their ears away from the truth, and the truth will be turned aside as they were fables. But you be watchful in all things, endure afflictions, and do the work of an evangelist. Fulfill your ministry. Okay, I'm going to do it. You still have a hard time believing what I'm telling you? Consider Luke 12:54. Whenever you see a cloud rising out of the west, immediately you say, a shower is coming, and so it is. And when you see the wind out of the south blow, you say, there will be hot weather, and it is. Hypocrites. You can discern the face of the sky and the earth. You cannot discern the signs of the time. Still don't believe me? Consider Luke 10:30. Blessed are the eyes which see the things you see. For I tell you that many prophets and kings have desired to see what you see and have not seen it, and to hear what you hear and have not heard it. Truly, I hope you read the chapters before, after, and containing the verses I've given to you. I really want you to get some context. Let me remind you real quick, for the law is fulfilled in one word, even this: you shall love your neighbor as you love yourselves. But if you bite and devour one another, beware, you will be consumed by one another. Stop all this fear mongering, all that kind of stuff. You better pay attention. For many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. What have we been talking about? And because lawlessness will abound, the love of many will grow cold. We're already seeing it happen. Now, because things have gotten so confused, people don't know how to love themselves, much less their neighbors. So I'm going to give you another verse to consider this definition of love. 1 Corinthians, love suffers long and is kind. Does not envy, does not parade itself, is not puffed up, does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, is not provoked, thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love doesn't fail. So when things get sticky here soon and the craziness is happening everywhere, remember this: my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into trials, knowing that testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. As for me, I'm going to echo the words of Paul for this conclusion. For I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought the good fight. I have kept the faith. Love y'all. Hope y'all share it around. See y'all soon.